In the previous tutorial, I showed you several ways to quickly add an event to your calendar. But if you want to add an event to your calendar and put some details to that event, you might want to watch this tutorial. I'm going to go ahead and create a new event, and I'm going to create this event today, and I'm going to show you another way that you can create this event. In the previous tutorials, I showed you by clicking how you can create an event. But this time, I'm actually going to click and drag on my calendar on the date and time that I want to set up my appointment or my event. So I'm on today, I'm clicking and dragging from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock. I get that same pop-up menu where I can quickly add and just create the event, but let's click on Edit Event Details and see what we can do. I get a full screen of choices to fill in when I click on the event detail. I'll type in my what, and notice I have several choices on my when. If I click on the date, it gives me a pop-up calendar and I can simply choose the date. The same is true for the time. Be aware that you see increments of half an hour, but you can come in here and change your time frame by minute. I've been clicking on the boxes to add the time, but I can also hit the tab key, and that's going to do the same thing. Notice it adjusted my to time box so that I would have exactly 2 hours. I can change that if I want to, just by typing in that box. You also have this option called All Day, and I recommend you use this if you have a day that's something like vacation or state track meet or something like that, where you don't want to fill up your day with a long event, but you just want to have a little bubble on your day that says there's something going on. This works really well if you click All Day. You can set your events to repeat by clicking on the drop-down menu by repeat. Currently this one's set to not repeat, but I can set it to a lot of different options. I'll choose daily so you can see what this looks like. I'll say I want it to repeat for 2 days, or excuse me, I want it to repeat 1 day, and I'm going to head and have it start on today, and I'm going to have it end. I better click end, otherwise it'll go on forever. So I'll say until, and I'll have it end on Friday, tomorrow. So now I have a date, an event that repeats every 1 day or every day, and it will end tomorrow. So I basically have an event that's going to show up for 2 days. I can enter the location of the event. I can tell specifically which calendar the event is going to show up on, and I can add a description if I need to. Also, if there are any documents that might be important to attach with this event, I can add an attachment. The next section of our calendar details is our options. I can have a reminder, and I can choose what type of reminder, a pop-up, a text, or an email. I can have it set to lots of different settings by changing the number in this entry box or clicking on the drop-down menu and choosing minutes, hours, days, or weeks. I can also tell the calendar to show me as available or busy during this time. Here's a really cool feature. It's called privacy. This is something you might want to pay attention to. If you have events on your calendar that you don't necessarily want people to know the details about, but you want them to know that you are busy, you can choose private. What that does is just shows up on the calendar, and I should back up. This is if you're sharing your calendar with someone else. So if someone is seeing your calendar because you've shared it with them, this is where this would come in handy. So let's say I put a doctor's appointment on my calendar, and I don't want the people I share my calendar with to know that I'm at the doctor's. I can click private, and it will just show that time as busy. If I click public, that means that anybody that can see my calendar knows exactly what I'm doing. It's a nice feature. Finally, if we go over to the right-hand side, I can invite people to an event. These people do not have to have my calendar shared with them just to be invited to the event. You simply add email addresses of the people you want to attend your event, and then you decide what you want your guests to do. Do you want them to be able to modify the event, invite others, or see who else has been invited. Once you've got all this information filled in, you'll want to click Save, and that can be found at the top of your calendar or at the bottom of your calendar. Clicking Cancel will discard everything you've done, and if you click back to Calendar, it will come up and ask you if you want to save before you go back. I'll click Save, and my 2 events show up on my calendar, or my 1 event repeating for 2 days.